Hi, this is James Cook. I live in Maine, and I'm starting this video podcast to respond to a certain segment of the population who are saying right now, you shouldn't be out there protesting. You should not be demonstrating politically your opposition to actions that you feel are evil and hurtful and wrong. I would like to respond to those with a series of videos in this podcast because there's dozens of reasons why demonstrating in public is a good idea, not a bad idea. But I'd like to start this one off with a news story from Monday, February 3rd, 2025. Yesterday, the Republican Senate, every single Republican senator, including Senator Susan Collins of Maine, voted to target trans kids for being different, for dressing differently, for using different language to describe themselves, that they choose and that they take individual pride in as kids. Every Republican voted to target those kids in policy. Some of the most vulnerable people in our schools right now, who are on the edge of being pushed out of community already, they voted to push them out of community further. So some are saying, shh, you need to be quiet about that. That issue won't win in Maine. We'll lose on that. Listen to that language. Win, lose. It's like it's a game. And the goal is to get points on the board. And when you get the points on the board, that's the game. It's an interesting point of view, but notice the game that you're playing. The end of the game is when you get the election. That's the victory? No. The victory is a world in which people are kind to each other, build networks and webs of community trust and investment, where we build and we don't destroy, where we lift up and don't take down. That's the goal of the game I'm playing. It's the goal that says protect vulnerable people, help everybody if you can, and help as many people as you can as possible to get through their lives. That's a human-centered goal of kindness. That's the game. Now, playing this game of an election, it's kind of an Ivy League debate club idea. That the game is that you have to convince people of the rectitude of a position, right? And you win on points. And the people who are saying this are coming from the Ivy League debate club set. And they did it before the Ivy League. They did it in their prep schools. And that's lovely among the prep school set. But that's not the game that the GOP, that the MAGA people are playing right now. They're playing Kayfabe. They're playing professional wrestling. And the whole idea of Kayfabe is that the audience doesn't care what's true. They support the one that's telling the story most confidently. And the victor beats the crap out of the loser. Is that the game we want to play? Maybe if we want to win on points, some election. But if we want a society that is based on kindness and support and mutual understanding, we have to fight that confidence with our own confidence. And nothing says I'm not confident than a bunch of people in public saying maybe we shouldn't talk about what we believe is important. That sounds mealy-mouthed. And you know what happens to mealy-mouthed characters in professional wrestling? They get the crap beaten out of them. And the crowd cheers. So if you want to turn the crowd, you have to tell a hero story. And you have to turn the other person into the villain, and you have to make them look weak. And you don't do that by talking about yourself as if you're not sure. You want to fight your fight. Here we're talking about a nonviolent fight, right? It's a fight of stories. But the other side, they're fighting without scruples. They'll turn it into a game in which they will hurt the vulnerable people among us. Susan Collins is in on the Kayfabe. She voted last night for a cruel society where we target kids who are among the most vulnerable. So we have to win by showing our bravado, showing our strength, showing our confidence, and showing that we will not give an inch. Right? If they're Darth Vader, or who might be cool, right? You got a cool suit. You got to be Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, Han Solo, would not sit back and go, oh, I don't know. Some people might not like defending vulnerable kids. Harrison Ford punched Nazis. We need to rhetorically slap those Nazis upside the head, those bigots. And that's what bigotry is, right? Bigotry is when you pick a side and you hurt people who aren't on your side. It's authoritarian. They're trying to control our lives. And it's corrupt. They're making money off of this. We have to remind people of that. We have to stand our ground. And we have to remember our priorities. The thing that matters here is that there are people who are being hurt and we care about other people. So when that happens, we don't stop. We don't shut up. We don't stay silent. We don't wring our hands. We take a stand in a public square and we declare to others, invoking the bystander effect, that that is not going to play in my community. You try to hurt trans kids in my community, and you're going to have to answer to me. I will look you in the eye. And I'm not going to hit you because I'm better than you. And I have more confidence than you do because you're weak. Only weak people hit people. We're strong. We care. We care about our kids. We care about your kids. And we won't back down in the fight to protect our kids from people who want to hurt them. That's what wins the game. People are going to want to join that side because that's the story they want to tell about themselves. And then we win the kayfabe. So get yourself out there. Write a letter to the editor. Write a letter to your member of Congress, but also make sure, because that's private, to do something in public. And don't you listen to those voices that tell you to be quiet, that want to keep this controlled, like it's some kind of posh little game of twiddlywinks in some ski lodge in Aspen, Colorado, next to a fire with an esteemed opponent. That's not the game. It's like rugby. It's like wrestling. It's like kayfabe. It's a cage match. And we have one hand tied behind our back because we aren't violent. We won't hurt other people. That's not who we are. So we have to use every other tool in our arsenal. Sometimes you win by standing up to a bully as a powerful, more privileged person who's not a kid, and you take the blows for them. You let the bullies unleash it on you in public. You watch how they react, and you stand your ground, and people will see what side their bread is buttered on. People will figure it out. Okay, that's my why should we get out there and demonstrate argument for today. Stick around and keep yourself publicly in opposition. Show them who you are. Don't hide it. And then we'll win the game, right? And the game is a better world.